Welcome back. Lincoln currency. The 1982 Lincoln cent is one of the most intriguing, misunderstood, and talked about coins in the history of American numismatics. While at first glance it might seem like just another 1-cent piece featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the truth is, this coin represents a turning point in U.S. coinage history, a year of major transition, multiple varieties, and ultimately a subject of fascination for collectors around the world. But what really makes the 1982 Lincoln penny so special? Why is it that some of these coins have been valued in the thousands, tens of thousands, and even one unconfirmed case rumored to be worth as much as $998 million? Let's dive deep into this fascinating coin and uncover its secrets, both historical and numismatic. First, let's travel back to the beginning. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it marked the first time a real person, rather than a symbolic representation, appeared on a U.S. coin. The wheat reverse carried the design until 1959, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial to mark the 150th anniversary of his birth and the 50th anniversary of the coin. Fast forward to 1982. This was no ordinary year in the world of coin production. Due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint made a fundamental change in the composition of the penny. Up until 1982, pennies were made primarily of copper, 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, copper had become too expensive, and the intrinsic metal value of the coin was beginning to exceed its face value. To combat this, the Mint transitioned to a new composition, 97.5% zinc with only a thin copper plating accounting for 2.5%. This change wasn't made all at once, it happened in stages throughout the year, meaning both compositions were used in 1982. As a result, we got not just one or two, but 7 distinct varieties of the 1982 penny. Yes, 7. There are 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date zinc, and each of these types minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, with the exception that the Philadelphia small date zinc was only confirmed after 1982. The Denver Mint coins carry a D Mint mark under the date. Philadelphia coins do not carry a Mint mark. So collectors often talk about the 1982 D small date copper penny, an incredibly rare coin, and we'll get to why that one, in particular, is special. To the naked eye, most people won't notice the differences between a large date and small date penny. The distinction lies in the style of the numerals, particularly the 2 and the 8. On small date coins, the 8 is more rounded and even with the 1 and 9. On large date coins, the 8 appears to sit higher and is thicker, with a more pronounced upper loop. These visual differences are subtle, but to an experienced collector, they can mean the difference between a common coin and a valuable rarity. Now let's talk composition. You can't always tell whether a penny is copper or zinc just by looking at it. The easiest method is by weighing it. A copper penny weighs approximately 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny weighs around 2.5 grams. This minor difference in weight is significant when it comes to identifying rare transitional errors, which brings us to one of the most talked about coins in American numismatics, the 1982 D small date copper penny. For years, collectors believed that no small date copper coins had been struck in Denver in 1982. That belief changed in 2016 when a coin collector reportedly found such a specimen. The coin was authenticated by experts and determined to be genuine, confirming that at least one 1982 D small date penny had been struck using copper planchets, possibly by error during the transitional phase of the year. The discovery sent shockwaves through the coin collecting community. Could more of these elusive coins be out there? Was this a one-time minting anomaly, or are there still undiscovered 1982 D small date copper pennies sitting in jars, drawers, and piggy banks across America? The frenzy began. Collectors started checking every 1982 penny they could get their hands on. Tens of thousands of coins were weighed, examined under microscopes, and compared side by side, all in the hopes of finding the next great rarity. But let's zoom out and ask, Why do people get so excited about pennies? After all, they're worth just 1 cent in spending power. But in numismatics, it's not about the face value, it's about rarity, condition, and historical significance. Coins are like miniature time capsules, telling stories of technological change, economic challenges, and even political shifts. The 1982 penny embodies a transition in American monetary history, a time when inflation, commodity prices, and minting logistics collided. Now, the claim that a penny, any penny, is worth $998 million sounds like fiction, or the headline of a viral article meant to grab attention. But there is some nuance here. In certain corners of the internet, exaggerated valuations get passed around without context. The reality is that while no penny has actually sold for that kind of astronomical amount, extremely rare coins in pristine condition can fetch very high prices. For example, a 1943 copper penny sold for over $200,000. Certain Lincoln cents from the early 1900s in perfect mint state with extremely low mintage have also commanded prices in the 5- or 6-figure range. It's not outside the realm of possibility that a unique, historically significant penny, especially one of a kind, could theoretically be valued extremely high if it garnered interest from wealthy collectors or institutions. So where does this rumored $998 million value come from? It's likely an urban legend, or a misinterpretation of insurance valuations or hypothetical discussions about one-of-a-kind specimens. Sometimes, coins that are donated or offered for public display are insured for sky-high amounts. Other times, coins are claimed to be priceless, because there's only one known example and it's never hit the open market. For collectors, the idea that a common-looking coin could be worth a life-changing amount of money is tantalizing. It feeds the dream that maybe, just maybe, the next coin you find in your change could be the jackpot. The market for Lincoln cents remains one of the most active and passionate areas in all of numismatics. There are entire guidebooks, websites, and YouTube channels dedicated to them. And why not? They've been in circulation for over a century, they're still being minted today, and they can be found in pocket change, estate sales, and coin rolls across the country. It's one of the few coin types that anyone, regardless of income or experience, can get involved in collecting. If you're thinking of diving into the world of Lincoln cents, 1982 is a fantastic place to start. It's a year that has it all: multiple varieties, transitional errors, mysteries, and even a modern legend in the form of the 1982 small date copper. Get yourself a digital scale, a magnifying glass, and some patience. Go through your pennies. Start looking for weight differences. Examine the dates and mint marks. You never know what treasure you might find, but don't just do it for the money. Do it for the thrill of the hunt. The satisfaction of uncovering history in your own hands. The knowledge that even the smallest, most overlooked object in your pocket can hold secrets, stories, and value beyond imagination. So, the next time you come across a 1982 penny, don't dismiss it. Weigh it. Inspect it. And ask yourself, could this be the one? The one that's worth not just 1 cent, not just $100, not even 1,000, but potentially tens of thousands. Or in legend, even $998 million. The mystery continues. The search goes on. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be the one to rewrite history with a single coin. To another deep dive into the hidden treasures of American coinage. Today, we're exploring one of the most talked about coins in recent collecting history, the 1994 Lincoln penny, a seemingly ordinary 1-cent coin that has recently captured headlines with claims of astronomical value. Is it really worth $998 million? Let's unravel the truth behind this copper-coated mystery. Sit back, because this story is long, rich in history, layered in numismatic fascination, and may just leave you digging through your pocket change. To begin, we need to set the stage. The Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909, when it was introduced to commemorate the centennial of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it marked the first time a real person, let alone a president, was placed on a U.S. coin. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent has gone through a number of changes. In 1959, the reverse design was changed from the wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday. And then, in 2009, another redesign was introduced to commemorate Lincoln's 200th. But what about the 1994 Lincoln penny? Well, let's fast forward to the mid-1990s. By this time, Lincoln cents were being struck at 3 different U.S. mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each had a unique mint mark. Philadelphia issues generally had no mint mark, Denver coins bore the D, and San Francisco coins, mostly proof issues, bore the S. At face value, most people would dismiss the 1994 penny as just another coin. Millions were produced. To be exact, over 6.5 billion from the Philadelphia Mint alone, with nearly as many from Denver. So how did a coin from such a common year become associated with jaw-dropping valuations and feverish attention? It begins with mint errors. In the numismatic world, rarity is often the result of errors, mechanical mistakes, doubled dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchets, and so forth. Collectors go wild for these anomalies, and over the years, several notable errors from the 1994 mintage have surfaced. Some of these include 1994 cents struck on silver dime planchets, which result in a smaller, lighter coin that looks completely out of place. Others have been discovered with broad strikes or off-center errors. Each error type has its own market, and even the most minor variations can result in significantly increased value, depending on the condition and demand. But none of these quite explain the headlines claiming a single 1994 penny is worth $998 million. That's where the legend of the ultra-rare 1994 Lincoln cent with a mysterious mint mark comes in. According to lore, there exists a singular, or possibly 2 or 3, 1994 Lincoln cents that were accidentally struck with a rare variation of the mint mark that was not intended for circulation. Some say it involves a W mint mark, denoting West Point, which at the time was not minting cents. Others whisper of a hybrid die error, a mule coin, where the obverse die from one denomination was accidentally paired with the reverse of another, resulting in a 1-cent coin unlike any other. Numismatic forums have buzzed for years about one particular specimen rumored to have surfaced briefly at a private auction in Europe. The coin was said to be authenticated, not only for its extreme rarity but for an experimental metallic composition, possibly a transitional planchet. Unlike the standard copper-plated zinc composition used since 1982, this specific coin was believed to be struck on a bronze planchet, a throwback to pre-1982 pennies. What really turned heads was the condition of this coin. It was said to be in pristine, mint state condition, MS-70, a perfect grade, certified by one of the top coin grading agencies like PCGS or NGC. A coin with this level of perfection, combined with an unintentional minting error and metal anomaly, creates the perfect storm of rarity and collectability. At a secretive auction, a group of elite collectors allegedly battled for ownership of this mysterious penny, driving the price up to an unfathomable $998 million. Some reports claimed the buyer was an anonymous billionaire with a known interest in acquiring rare, one-of-a-kind artifacts. Others said it was a tech mogul looking to secure bragging rights in a world where status symbols have gone beyond luxury yachts and private jets. Whatever the case, the coin disappeared from public view after the sale, and its whereabouts remain unknown. But what is the truth behind these claims? Is it possible that a coin, even a rare one, could command such a staggering price? The answer lies somewhere between speculation and obsession. Coin collecting, like fine art, is not just about intrinsic value, it's about perceived worth, cultural significance, and emotional impact. For some collectors, the thrill of owning a coin that no one else on earth can possess is priceless. Combine that with the historic legacy of Lincoln, the intrigue of mint errors, and the scarcity of a unique anomaly, and you start to understand how numbers can be stretched beyond rational boundaries. Market trends support this. In recent years, Lincoln cents with high grades and rare features have sold for impressive sums. A 1955 double-die penny once sold for over $100,000. A 1943 copper cent, a famous off-metal error, sold for over $1 million. So while the idea of a $998 million penny sounds like hyperbole, the market has shown that under the right circumstances, certain Lincoln cents can achieve astronomical valuations. Today, coin dealers report increased interest in 1994 pennies, with many hobbyists scouring rolls and jars in search of error coins or high-grade examples. Even coins with minor doubling, planchet flaws, or striking anomalies can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And condition plays a huge role. A 1994 D penny in MS69 condition, virtually flawless, could sell for several $1,000s simply because of its rarity in that state. As of this year, collectors continue to list 1994 Lincoln cents with varying errors for prices ranging from $10 to over $10,000 depending on features and certification. Websites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Great Collections have seen increased bidding activity around high-grade specimens. But the real mystery, the one that continues to drive fascination, is whether that near-billion-dollar penny really exists. Was it a marketing stunt? A numismatic myth? Or is it resting in a vault somewhere, waiting to shock the world again in a future auction? Until definitive proof emerges, the 1994 penny will remain both a common artifact and a legendary enigma. So what should you do? Start checking your change. If you find a 1994 penny, look closely. Is it unusually shiny? Off-center? Does it have a strange tone or mint mark you've never seen before? Hold on to it, and consider having it graded. You might be holding a treasure. Most will be worth face value, maybe a few cents if they're pristine, but the possibility of finding a rare variation still exists. Ultimately, the story of the 1994 Lincoln cent is about more than just money. It's about the pursuit of discovery, the passion of collectors, and the surprising ways that history, art, and economics can intersect in something as small and humble as a penny. Whether it's worth 1 cent or nearly $1 billion, the value of a coin is often more than what it's made of. It's about what it represents, a tangible link to the past, and a spark for the imagination. So keep looking, keep learning, and maybe one day, you'll be the one holding the next coin to make headlines around the world. Because in the world of numismatics, anything is possible. Thanks for watching. Until next time, happy collecting. Back, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we're going deep into the fascinating world of Lincoln pennies. But not just any Lincoln penny, we're talking about the 2004 Lincoln cent, with mint marks, varieties, errors, and secrets that could be hiding in your pocket change right now. That's right, one little copper-plated coin, worth just 1 cent on its face, but possibly valued in the market for hundreds, thousands, or even, according to some speculative claims, up to $998 million. Now I know what you're thinking. $1 billion? For a penny? Sounds too good to be true. But stay with me, because the story of this coin is more than just about money. It's about history, minting anomalies, collector demand, and the possibility of finding hidden fortune in the most unlikely places. Let's start from the beginning. The Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909, when it was introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature the portrait of a real person. For most of the 20th century, the Lincoln cent remained essentially the same, with only a few changes, like the replacement of the wheat reverse with the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. But by 2004, the penny had already seen over 9 decades of minting, and it had become a canvas for a number of minting quirks, errors, and varieties that would drive collectors into a frenzy. Now enter the 2004 Lincoln cent. At first glance, it looks just like any other penny, copper-plated zinc, weighing 2.5 grams, with a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. On the obverse is Lincoln's familiar profile, and on the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of strength and unity. The 2004 Lincoln cent was minted in 3 primary locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Philadelphia bear no mint mark, Denver coins carry a DE mint mark, and the San Francisco versions, intended as proofs, bear an S. All of them might appear ordinary, but within the massive numbers struck that year, there exist a few special pieces that have made headlines. Let's talk about those mint marks for a moment. While mint marks alone don't often elevate the value of a coin significantly, when combined with error types, die varieties, or misstrikes, they become powerful indicators of rarity. The Denver minted coins, in particular, have yielded several rare double-die obverse and reverse varieties in 2004. And then there are off-center strikes, broad strikes, and even coins struck on the wrong planchets. Yes, coins that were accidentally struck on foreign coin blanks or on blanks intended for nickels, dimes, or other denominations. But let's talk about the heavy hitter, the double die. One of the most exciting varieties from the 2004 penny series is the double die obverse, which can cause noticeable doubling in the lettering of Liberty or the date. For example, collectors have reported strong doubling on the 4 in the date or a shadowing effect on the In God We Trust inscription. These errors occur when the coin die, the steel tool used to strike the blank coin, imprints a second, slightly misaligned image, resulting in visible doubling. Coins with significant doubling are rare and highly sought after. The stronger the doubling and the better the coin's condition, the higher its value. Now let's add condition into the equation. Most pennies you find in circulation are going to be graded at the lower end: good, fine, maybe very fine. But what if you find a 2004 penny in mint state condition? And not just any mint state, but a high grade like MS67 or MS68? Now you're in elite territory. These coins have full luster, no wear, and almost no contact marks. Combine that with a known variety, say, a double die, and you could be looking at a coin that sells for hundreds, thousands, or more at auction. But here's where the story takes a turn from ordinary numismatics into modern legend. A mysterious rumor has circulated in certain coin collecting communities and online forums of a 2004 Lincoln cent, allegedly struck in a spectacular minting error, containing several overlapping errors, struck on the wrong planchet, with a double die obverse, broad struck outside the collar, off-center, and in high-grade uncirculated condition. It's been called the Holy Grail of pennies. And although its exact existence remains unverified, the rumor gained traction after a collector claimed to have received an anonymous offer of nearly $1 billion for the coin. $998 million to be exact. Now, let's be clear. No penny has ever sold for $998 million. The most expensive coins ever sold, such as the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar and the 1933 double eagle, sold in the $10 to $20 million range. So $1 billion penny remains, at this point, a tantalizing myth. But myths often contain kernels of truth. Could a once-in-a-generation mint error, combined with pristine condition and collector frenzy, drive a sale into previously unthinkable territory? Let's take a detour into the psychology of collecting. Humans are drawn to rarity, to the thrill of the hunt, and to the idea that unimaginable fortune could be lying in plain sight. That's what drives metal detector hobbyists, coin roll hunters, and estate sale explorers. The idea that a simple coin, overlooked by millions, could become a prized artifact worth millions or even billions is as compelling as any treasure story ever told. And 2004 was a perfect storm, a modern minting era where errors were rare, but not impossible. A time when technology allowed people to examine coins more closely than ever, and a growing online community that could fuel the fire of interest almost instantly. Let's shift gears and talk about recent market values. As of today, in 2025, a regular 2004 Lincoln cent from Philadelphia in circulated condition is worth 1 cent. That's right, just a penny. But here's where things get interesting. A 2004 Lincoln cent with a strong double die obverse in MS65 condition has fetched upwards of $150 to $300 at auction. Off-center strikes from Denver have sold for $75 to $100 depending on the degree of off-centering. And proof coins from San Francisco, especially those graded PR 69 DCM or higher, have been auctioned in the $50 to $100 range, and then there are the outliers. In 2021, A coin collector from Ohio claimed to have a 2004 Lincoln cent struck on a dime planchet. That coin, authenticated by a third-party grading service and graded MS-64, sold for over $1,500. Another example, a 2004 D Lincoln penny with dramatic die clash and doubling, sold privately for over $3,000. These are not just anomalies, they're signals. Signals that the 2004 penny has more to it than meets the eye. And it's that unknown, the potential of the next big find, that keeps collectors scouring their change jars and their old shoeboxes. So where does that leave us? Well, you could have a treasure sitting in your car's cup holder. You could have a fortune lying between your couch cushions. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's history, it's economics, it's art, and yes, it's a bit of luck. The 2004 Lincoln cent may not be rare in quantity, billions were minted, but in quality, in error, in variation? That's where the hidden gems lie. And one day, perhaps someone really will uncover the mythical $998 million penny. Maybe it's already out there. Maybe it's in your pocket right now. So next time you get change at the store, take a moment. Look at the date. Look for the mint mark. Examine the lettering closely. Is there doubling? Is it off-center? Is the strike weak or unusually bold? Use a magnifier if you need to. What may look like a simple copper coin could be a passport to a life-changing discovery. Keep searching, keep learning, and never underestimate the value of curiosity. Because sometimes, even the smallest coin can hold the biggest story. Back, coin enthusiasts, treasure hunters, and curious collectors from all over the world. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing and widely circulated coins in recent U.S. history, the 2018 Lincoln penny. Yes, the humble 1-cent coin that many overlook. But what if I told you that some versions of this coin could be worth not just a few bucks, not just hundreds, but potentially up to $998 million in collector value? I know, it sounds absolutely unbelievable, but stick with me, and I'll walk you through everything you need to know, from the coin's origin, the details of its minting, its mint mark variations, special errors, its cultural importance, and the crazy reasons why someone might pay a fortune for a single copper-plated zinc disc. Let's go back to the basics. The 2018 Lincoln cent, like all modern pennies minted since 1982, is composed primarily of zinc and coated with a thin layer of copper. It weighs about 2.5 grams and features the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, which has remained a fixture since 1909. But what makes the 2018 edition stand out among the billions of pennies produced over the decades? To understand the value and significance of the 2018 penny, we need to talk mint marks. In 2018, Lincoln cents were struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, which usually features no mint mark; Denver, which carries the D mint mark; and San Francisco, which bears the S mint mark. Of these, the San Francisco mint coins are usually proofs, intended for collectors and not for circulation. The total mintage for 2018 Lincoln cents is staggering. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 6.6 billion coins, while the Denver Mint produced around 5.7 billion. These numbers alone would suggest that the 2018 penny is extremely common, and from a general perspective, it is. But rarity isn't always about how many were made, it's about how many survive in pristine condition, or how many exhibit unusual features, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or transitional errors. Let's get into the errors and varieties. Some 2018 pennies have been discovered with remarkable doubling on Lincoln's ear, lettering on the obverse, or even the Lincoln Memorial on reverse if transitional planchets were accidentally used. These types of errors can drive the value of an otherwise ordinary coin sky high, depending on their visibility, rarity, and the demand among collectors. One notable variety is the 2018 D double die obverse. If you look closely at certain 2018 D Lincoln cents under magnification, you may notice strong doubling on the words, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," sometimes even on the date itself. These double die errors are created during the die-making process, where a hub imprints the design onto the die more than once in slightly misaligned positions. When these flawed dies strike hundreds of thousands of coins, they produce error coins that are technically rare. Given how many error-free coins are out there. In the world of numismatics, these errors can make a huge difference in value. While a typical 2018 penny is worth, well, a penny, a 2018 D double die error in uncirculated condition can fetch anywhere from $50 to $500 or more, depending on condition and demand. If you find one in MS67 or higher, you're talking serious collector interest. But what about that mysterious $998 million value? Surely, no penny could possibly be worth that much. Well, here's where things get very, very interesting. There are always legends and urban myths in the collecting world: coins lost in time, prototypes that were never supposed to exist, minting errors that slipped out due to human error, or coins that were part of special events or time capsules. Some stories suggest that a rare presentation strike of a 2018 penny, perhaps one struck on the wrong metal composition, say, a bronze planchet from 1982 or even a leftover steel planchet from 1943, could command unimaginable prices at auction. One such story goes around about a mysterious 2018 penny discovered with a platinum-like appearance, weighing differently, and possibly being a test strike from an experimental composition. The identity of the owner remains unknown, and many question the legitimacy of the story, but the rumor remains: the coin is worth nearly $1 billion due to its uniqueness, controversy, and potential ownership by a major institution or investor. Of course, let's not forget about the role of hype in the coin world. Sometimes, market buzz and media coverage inflate the perceived value of a coin far beyond what it might realistically command in a private sale or certified auction. The number $998 million is likely more of a symbolic figure, reflecting a theoretical value based on its unique characteristics, collector obsession, and the mystique of a one-of-a-kind anomaly, rather than a price someone has actually paid. Still, it raises a tantalizing possibility that somewhere out there, in a pocket, jar, or coin roll, there could be a penny. Worth more than a fleet of Lamborghinis, more than private islands, more than most professional sports teams. That's the magic of collecting. It turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. Now, let's return to reality for a moment. If you're going through your change, what should you actually be looking for when it comes to 2018 pennies? Here are a few things that could increase their value. Mint state condition: the higher the grade, the more valuable. Coins graded MS67 or above by PCGS or NGC can sell for $100 to $200, even without errors. Proof coins: the 2018 S-proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, especially if still sealed in their original government packaging or graded PR70 Deep Cameo, are highly desirable. Errors and varieties: double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and planchet errors can multiply a coin's value by a factor of 10 or more. Special finishes or sets: if your coin came from a special collector's set like a reverse proof or enhanced uncirculated set, those variations can be worth much more than their face value. Packaging and pedigree: if your coin has a unique backstory or provenance, say, it came from a notable collection or was featured in a media article, its value could rise substantially based on buyer interest. Rumored coins and urban legends: while these may not have confirmed existence, stories about unique one-off errors or test pieces always stoke interest. Collectors love a good mystery, and sometimes prices climb just based on speculation and hope. So what does all this mean for you? It means you might want to start looking a little more closely at those 2018 pennies rattling around in your change drawer. Grab a magnifying glass, turn on a bright lamp, and study every detail. Look at the mint mark. Look for doubling in the lettering. Examine the coin's surface for die cracks, off-center strikes, or anything that looks unusual, because you never know. That one penny could change your life. The 2018 Lincoln Cent, despite being one of the most common coins in America, holds stories and possibilities that go far beyond its humble appearance. From the historical legacy of Lincoln himself to the intricacies of modern minting processes, from high-grade investment pieces to speculative urban legends of multi-million-dollar rarities, the 2018 penny captures everything we love about numismatics: history, mystery, value, and the thrill of the hunt. So the next time you get a penny in your change, don't dismiss it. Flip it over, take a good long look, and remember, that copper-colored disc might just be your golden ticket. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, intriguing, or just downright unbelievable, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin discoveries, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world of rare coins, currency, and hidden treasures in plain sight. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your next penny be $1 million find.